Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
Welcome to Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week we look at value-add businesses. Don't go away. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. My guest today is Mr. Ernest Osogo. He's the director of Ernies Delivery Man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Ernie sounds like your name. Delivery Man. Tell me about your business.
My business concept is basically being a waiter on wheels. We deliver food from restaurants that people select and take it to them and get paid on delivery.
So if I want food from any restaurant in Nairobi or Kenya, you will deliver it to me?
We have a website which has a list of menus spread out through Nairobi. I mean, we have shopping zones in Kilimani, in Westlands, in Mombasa Road. So you choose a restaurant that is closest to you or that fancies you. Call us with the order.
So you go to your website. What is your website? Ernies?
ErniesDeliveryman.com. You click onto restaurants and then it gives you options of restaurants, whether you want Asian, Orient, whether you want steaks and grills and burgers, you choose. And it takes you to a page now which has the various restaurants in that category. Click on that again, you get the menu, the priced menu. Select what you want, call us, we place the order for you, pick the food and deliver it to you.
So right from my office or my home, I'm not narrowed to what I can eat.
The only thing we won't be able to deliver is sizzling food. But other than sizzling foods, yes, we can bring almost anything to your home, to your doorstep.
So how did you come up with this idea for a business? Tell me about the beginnings of Ernie.
I was living in South Africa when I got this idea from a company called Mr. Delivery. And in South Africa, you don't get much time to go out and dine because of the security problems, especially if you're not conversant with the area. So in most of the hotel rooms, there is a booklet called Mr. Delivery. So I spent a lot of time ordering in, and I thought that concept would work pretty well at home.
So you brought the concept home?
Yes, when I came home about 4 years ago, I came with that concept.
And went straight into business?
Well, not really straight, because I was previously working as a fire engineer, and that was the reason why I was in South Africa. So when I came down here, it took me about a year or two to get first the restaurants to understand what I'm doing, and also to get the customer to understand that there's another option other than the normal delivery services that are available. And so I embarked on, first of all, the website, and the website allowed people who are internet savvy to find me. And then of late, probably in the last 2 years, we went into social networking, that is on Facebook and Twitter. And that is where now we got most of the hits from. You
came back home, built the website, talked to different people in terms of selling the idea. Where did you find the people to deliver? How did you decide you're not going to use cars, but you're going to use, this other mode of transport? Tell me about those decisions.
Well, first of all, we had a real rough time selling the idea to restaurants because the risk averse, they didn't know how we could take their food if they have never done deliveries before and deliver their food in the same condition as they give it to us. So once the restaurants were not very interested in it or were not ready to invest in it, we opted to go into the customer. So that means we created the website. We went around just collecting menus at first and just putting them on the website, whether the restaurants knew it or not. And then the customers started demanding, this is what we want. And I'd say 60% to 70% of the restaurants were actually requested by the customers. They're what makes us go look for that restaurant menu. So our business is basically based on the customer more than on the restaurant.
When you look at Ernie's Delivery Man, what are we talking about in terms of personnel, in terms of structure, in terms of just reach?
I've grown from a one-man show.
Did you do it yourself?
Initially, I did it myself. A lot of my customers know me because they actually saw me on their doorstep. To now, I have 13 riders. And plus, because when we are overwhelmed, we hire riders from the outside. Every month, we have a growth of at least 10%. New callers, people who weren't there the last month, the previous year, gets in every day we get a new caller who calls to find our business.
So why go to Ernie? What is it that you're giving the customer?
You only need one of our numbers, and we can get you food from any restaurant. We can do your dry cleaning, pick up your dry cleaning. We can bring your cooking gas at home.
So you do more than just food?
Yes.
Tell me about all these other services.
Food is our core business, but to add to the food that we deliver, we also bring in other things that you may require in the home, like your cooking gas runs out, we'll get it for you. You require shopping from the closest convenience store, we'll get it for you. You require your dry cleaning taken and brought back to you, we'll do that for you. So, and if you're in the office, you require stationery, you require urgent things because we work on an urgency mode. The minute you call us, we can't start counting the clock. Within 60 minutes, we try and get what you have asked for to you.
How do people make payments? How do people transact with Ernies?
We have two options of payment, either cash on delivery or telephone money transfer. And in some cases, we have prepaid accounts where a customer gives us money for the month, and we just keep deducting it off that. But what we do is that when we place the order, we pay for the order at the restaurant or at the vendor, whether the supermarket or whatever. Our business is a lot of trust because I have to trust the restaurant has to trust me, the customer has to trust me, and I have to trust the customer, and I have to trust the conveyor, the delivery man, because the delivery man is also going to be handling food and money at the same time.
We need to take a short break now. When we return, I want to hear more about Ernie's delivery man. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. My guest today is Mr. Ernest Osogo. He's the director of Ernie's Delivery Man. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Tell me about leaving employment and then now plunging, into business.
One of my trips in South Africa, I was sent to do a job in Dar es Salaam. And while working in Dar es Salaam, the hotel room I was staying in had a book, the same kind of system from Mr. Delivery in South Africa. So on inquiring, I realized that I knew the person who was doing this because it's somebody who I had shared the same idea with in previous years. But she came home and she started it, and it was working well. So once I saw that it was working well in Dar es Salaam, I had made up my mind. As soon as I went home, I came back home. That's what I started embarking on.
So you came back home and then resigned?
I took off my engineering hat and wore my delivery hat. And I've put engineering on hold until we're able to build Ernie's Delivery Man to be an effective delivery service, cost effectively, and basically convenient to everybody that we serve.
Tell me about the reactions of your friends and other people when you said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, in terms of just plunging into this business.
They thought I was going nuts. They thought I was leaving such a good, well-paid job. And a lot of them really didn't take me seriously. And after a while, when the customer started finding us, the small delivery charges were turning into a huge profit at the end of the day. And a lot of them now actually use my service too. And they think I had something which they should have seen before me.
It's 4 years down the road. What are some of the challenges that you faced?
Well, basically, like every entrepreneur, it's capital. But we put our structures in a way that we were using more or less other people's money more than using our money in terms of putting up the structure. When I say that is that initially we started with buying motorbikes. But along the way we realized that buying motorbikes was holding our growth back. So now into less than a year, we've been leasing motorbikes, which has allowed us bigger expansion, faster expansion, and the advertising, now we're going full out to advertise knowing that we have the capacity. Before we were a bit reluctant to advertise because we may not have the capacity when people decide they want your service. So we've been a bit cautious in our growth. Those has been the main challenge. The other challenge is getting trust. Getting trust from the employee, getting somebody who you can trust and ensure that the restaurant is going to get their money. Me as an entrepreneur, I'm going to get my money from them, and the customer is going to get the end product, the food or whatever we're delivering to them. So getting the kind of personnel to do that has been quite a task.
What does it take to be in your kind of business? Can anyone do it?
Hard work is important. Passion, you need to be passionate about what you're doing, and you need to have researched well. So basically we have mouth-watering food. We're few new restaurants that opening. I think you know there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken is coming. We're getting them on board to do deliveries for them too. So basically, what you want, if you come to me twice to go and pick up food from a restaurant, the third time I'll go get that menu and put it on my website to make it easier for you.
Even the ones that are more personal, like the gas cylinders and the laundry, is that something that I log onto your website and get, or how does that happen?
That one you can just call us. What we need from you is just the details of the gas, what size gas you require, and the type, and we'll look at the vendor who has that gas, and they'll bring it to you.
Lessons learned 4 years down the road.
If you have a business concept, be simple as possible. Don't complicate it, and make people understand it. Once you complicate it, people get away from it. But mine's just simple. Go to my website, pick what you want, call me, and I'll bring it to you.
Any mentors along the way?
I'm a good fan of two people. I'm a fan of the sponsor of this program, James Mwangi. I thought he had a fantastic idea which he used to empower the small person. Well, I'd like to look at myself as a small person who has an idea to empower the small person and the big person. And then I admire Richard Branson, where he comes from. I read his books and all that. And then I love even innovation, technology. Anything with a good infrastructure inspires me. Good roads and all that makes sure that my delivery business is going to prosper. I have good roads to travel on. I have addresses to go to. It won't be difficult to find where I'm going.
5 years from now, 10 years from now, when you look at Ernies Delivery Man, what do you see?
5 years from now, I intend to be in all the major cities in Africa. If you talk about 10 years, then maybe I better have something called Ernies Air too, which will be taking food across Africa. I'd like to expand into something that, not just food, but now I'm delivering things across borders using aeroplanes and all that. That's where I see myself in 10 years.
Ernies, thank you so much for coming on the show. I loved listening to your story. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
Success, the key to your next level in business. Have a great week and God bless.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening